Good afternoon and welcome. Welcome to my new subscribers. Welcome to my returning subscribers. Thank you all so much for your time. Today we are back talking about co-parenting the fix, and we're talking about the things that are important to this journey for you. So today we're talking about love. I said we were going to talk about love, so we're talking about love. We are not talking about romantic love because that is not what we're talking about right now. Remember, the goal of this particular love is to create a warm environment for our children, right? So right now we're not necessarily focusing on the romantic part. Now, if that is something that can be reestablished, then that's a totally different conversation and not one that we're having right now. Today we're going to talk about how you have to love yourself through, because you have to make sure that you are creating self-love and taking care of yourself. And that's why I'm late a day, and I want to note, and I apologize. I'm actually recording before lunch with my mom. She was ironing her pants, so I know I have time. She gets dressed like me. It takes me a little while. Anyway, so I'm waiting on that, so I'm recording this video. And we're talking about how you must love yourself. Take care of yourself because you're taking care of others. So find out what self-love means for you. I definitely explained that in detail in one of my books. Why is it important? What is it good for? It is good for your mental health. It is good for your health in general. It is so that you'll be nice to others. It sets an example of how others should treat you, how you treat yourself. So there are so many benefits of taking care of yourself, and then there are so many non-benefits of not taking care of yourself. And we're not going there today because we're talking about love. So we're talking about the loving things that you can do for you. And you have to do those things in order to endure this process, because there are going to be days where it just hurts. And so you have to make sure that you take care of you and build you back up. Again, that's why I'm late. I needed a day to build back up. Now, others. As you incorporate others in this work, there's going to be love there too, because you have to make sure that, and love is not always, love doesn't always say what you want it to say. Love tells the truth in love. So sometimes some things have to come to an end because it's time. Sometimes I just have to correct this because it's not what's best for me. Sometimes I have grown and I need to have a conversation about how I've grown. So we have those conversations, and we're thinking about who we are because we're the parents leading this work, or we're the parent. Sometimes you're by yourself leading this work, because I was by myself leading this work, but everyone else kind of participated. They just didn't know it. They kind of had no choice, because it was like, as I improve my world, I improve the standards of expectation, and not to a point that makes people uncomfortable, but just, this is how you're going to treat me. These are the things that are going to happen in the house. Just respecting each other and respecting the house. For example, everyone does chores. I do chores. Everyone does chores because everyone lives in this house. So we just split it up in a way that's respectful, but everyone does chores. And I know I make the money or whatever. Right now, I'm not making the money. So this is why, that's also, I don't know where I'm at with keeping this going. And I know that that's a digression from what we're talking about, but I need to spend some time on, is this a good idea or a bad idea? And if you know, you know. Moving on. Single parent, deal with that. So, okay, I'm a single parent, I'm a single mom, I'm mad. Okay, I'm a single dad, I'm mad because single mom won't let me see my kids. Single mom is mad because single dad is not paying enough child support. Okay, so there are things that we need to talk about, because sometimes it's not us, sometimes it's the system. Sometimes it's other things that are in the way of us communicating, so that we can actually come to a place of peace. Not a place of I'm giving up, but a place of let's come to compromise, let's build as we get greater. Because regardless of what happens, if you stay in anger, which is not love, it's a normal emotion. It is expected, but we don't want to stay there. We don't want to be angry, sin not. So we don't want to stay there, and we don't want to make decisions out of anger, and we don't want to speak out of anger. We just want to make sure that if we sense that we're angry, we do the right things in those moments because we sense that we're angry. Now, the homework was to watch Blended, which I hope you did, from 2014, and Cheaper by the Dozen from 2022. And those were the examples of what can happen. So we don't want to believe that because we have kids, we can't find someone, or because we have kids by different dads, we can't find someone, or because we're widowed, we can't find someone, or we're a widower and we can't find someone. I mean, if you choose to be alone, that's fine. And if that's your choice, that's your choice. Some people, that's their walk and that's what they want. But if that's not what you want, then heal your heart. Heal. Heal the single person. Heal the divorcee. Heal the widower. Go into your heart and figure it out. And now you may not be able to do that by yourself. I'm not saying do it by yourself, but if you need to get help, do that so that you can open your heart back up to love, because love is never ending. Love is universal. So as we're talking about our children, so I kind of talked about that. So there's some counter examples, or they're examples, but they're not examples of the things that we want. So for example, enough. I didn't give this one to you as homework. And this one is, so enough with Jennifer Lopez. And so this one is not, it's relative from the perspective of, it shows like if you have a child and it came out of a bad relationship, you're bringing that baggage into your new space. And so number one, you got to end the situation with the bad relationship, however that ends. Now, if you see that movie, see the movie. Maybe it doesn't end that way. Maybe it ends a different way, but you have to just resolve it to the point that it's like, look, and then allow yourself to heal from whatever that was. So that was the purpose of bringing up that movie, because that mother's going to have to heal before she's really ready to move into a new relationship. She's going to have to heal from the brokenness caused from the abusive father. And just trigger warning, I'm sorry, I should have said that. I'll put that in the notes. The father was abusive in that relationship. And then Baby Boy as another example of just like a relationship between a man and a woman, and they had a child. And then that same man had a child with another woman, but he didn't actually want to be with the other woman. And how it took some time for them to work out communication, and some things worked. One relationship was restored. One relationship was not. I'm not sure how the communication actually went, but just to the point of don't give up, to the point of heal before you make definite decisions of what you're going to do and be and have. Heal so that you can parent from a clean space. As one who's just learned that I'm not as active as a listener as I thought, but I'm better than I was. We want our children to be heard. And sometimes we need someone to help us hear what they're actually saying to us. And sometimes we just need to slow down and actually listen. So we want to make sure that we're creating space so that our children can show up and be their authentic selves. We also want to love them enough to do the work, which means there are going to be times that they're not really into it, and we got to figure out, work our brain, compromise to an extent of, well, will you do this if we do this? And figure out a way to stair climb your way to success. It's not a linear process. It's just not. So when it comes to your children, it's not linear. When it comes to you, it's not linear. If you have to walk this walk as well. So as we improve our relationships, everything improves. So as we improve the relationship with the co-parent, we improve the relationship with the children, and then the children improve the relationship with the co-parent, which is a part of creating that 360-degree support for your child. Because even if you're not together romantically, which is why that's not a part of our conversation right now, because that is not what best creates. And we want that. We would love that. We want to model that. And let's hope that we have more models. I have a model. I'm so grateful. More than one, but one I listen to and I really take their advice at heart. So I have a model, and not everyone does. And so you got to learn these things. And sometimes if you didn't learn it right, you got to unlearn it and learn it again. So we've got to help people learn right. But when it comes to learn the right things, not learn right, learn the right things. When it comes to the romantic side, that's not what we're talking about. The children need stable parents who are not arguing all the time, who are not fighting all the time, making good decisions for them, because they are still learning. They are still growing. They are still maturing. So they are more unstable just because their brain is not developed. It doesn't develop until 25. So there are going to be moments where they lean on our strength because they're just developing. So as you're dealing with mental health on top of all of that, and I don't know if we really spoke to that. I know that that's in my heart right now, but I don't know if we actually did. But if that is a part of your walk as well, then you have the natural chemical changes that happen with the body as the child matures, as any human matures. And then you have the disruption of the chemical balance because of the mental illness. So it takes love to do this work. It takes love to be there. It takes love to get yourself through. It takes love to call and reach out for help when you need help. It takes love to say, I need a break. Just, I need a break. So, I don't know how often I'm going to post, but weekly is a little much for me because I'm still mom and I'm a single mom right now. So I still have to do everything. And this week has been heavy. My alternator went out. So the car was down. It took 2 days to fix that. Got a bad alternator, so I had to take it back. Had some family stuff going on. I don't know. So I'm going to work on changing my banner so that I'm not false advertising. Every Thursday I'm going to post. I just don't know how often. I just need some time to regroup. So thank you so much for giving me that time. I trust you and I thank you and I love you. And I appreciate you for listening up until this point. Thank you and have a wonderful remainder of your day.